This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generation Voyager class Sandstorm, part of the thrilling 30 of Transformers, celebrating 30 years of Transformers coming up here in 2014. Now Sandstorm is a repaint and a fairly extensive retool of the Voyager class Springer that we recently got. As you can see, really nice artwork here on the side. You got the 30th anniversary logo. He is a triple changer. He goes from a Vtol aircraft to a Dune buggy. Come around here to the side, you got the Autobot logo, series number 2. On this other side, you just got a continuation of this image here on the front, with really very nice. You got Autobot logo there. Of course, you got Blitzwing here on the bottom. Come around here to the back, you got his technical data, which I still love the way that they do it in terms of the old G1 look. You got his Vtol aircraft mode, his Dune buggy, and of course his robot mode. And then for his bio, it says Sandstorm lives for action. His only real fear is a fear of boredom. As a result, he takes unnecessary risks, both in combat and out. Risks that can sometimes threaten the success of his mission. He lives fast, loud, and dangerously, traits that make him fun to hang out with most of the time, but his fellow Autobots are getting a little sick of his habit of giving away his position to the Decepticons, just so he has the opportunity to enjoy a fight. But you can see down here, I mean, he's got a very high skill level, number 10, and a very courageous figure or character as well, also a 10. So the boy's got some stuff going on for him. But there's the packaging for him. I absolutely love the color on it. Now, Sandstorm's never been a character that I have much of a connection to, so I'm really curious to see if I'm going to really take to this guy or if I'm going to prefer the Springer figure, so we'll see. But without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Sandstorm opened up and out of its packaging. And I'm absolutely amazed with how much I really do like this guy. There's a fair amount of complete retooling on this and remolding that really changes this from the Springer figure to Sandstorm. Now, right off the bat, we got to do a comparison. So here he is. And here's Springer, and besides the fact that he's got these big, gigantic wheels here, I mean, you can really see that in vehicle mode, at least in the Dune buggy thing and the car, this guy looks just so much bigger. It's really very impressive. I mean, even, like, when you look at the front, obviously you got a different molded chest piece here, which we'll see more here in the robot mode. Different molded panel right here. I mean, you can see all the extra bits added on here that Springer didn't have. When you flip this back, actually, you can see that this top section is actually redone. This side window panel's probably the same. I mean, there's so very little that's the same on here, and then I love how the tail for the actual Vtol aircraft actually folds up and comes across over the top and gives it a completely different look. I mean, that's so cool. And then you have this entire section right here that just bulks him up so much. It's absolutely impressive. It's one of those figures that really, when I first got him, I didn't think I was going to like him that much because I don't have an attachment to the character. But the toy itself is marvelous. In vehicle mode here, they are completely different looking. Now, much like the actual Springer, he does come with this gun that is also different. Similar kind of design in terms of where you have this one and it shoots the missiles out. This one, you pull this back and it shoots the missile out. So you get that really cool friction kind of, well, if I can get it to go back in there, that friction missile launching gimmick, which is absolutely fantastic. But again, you can see how much different this is. This is a double barrel gun, whereas this is single barrel. And actually, even this is a much kind of bigger and bulkier gun than Springer. So very, very cool with this. And then you can come around here to the top, and if you wanted to, you can peg it in there, and you can have him with that kind of weapon. Now, you could put it down and actually make it look a little bit better, but he's going to shoot his hood, and that would probably be bad. So, I mean, typically speaking, I mean, you can't leave it on there, and it actually looks a little bit better plugged into Sandstorm than when Springer had his gun pegged into his car mode. But absolutely fantastic. I love the colors on here. You got the more yellow, you got the orange, you got the black. It all works very nicely. Very nice Autobot logo right here on the front. Huge tires, I mean, massive, nice. And I think that's silver paint on the inside there. I I don't believe that they're molded that way, or maybe the tires painted black and the rest is silver. I don't know, but very, very cool looking. I mean, this is just a wonderful looking kind of all-terrain vehicle, and really does impress me just in the look and the bulk, and the fact that while similar looking, really has an entirely different feel than Springer. Transformer, first what you want to do is take off the gun if you actually have it pegged on there, and just get it out of there, set it off to the side like so. And one thing that I'll say about this is things tab in so much better than on Springer, and that was one of the big kind of complaints that I had. Now you still have to squeeze things and really kind of make sure you get everything lined up, but it tabs in nicely and securely. So first I'm going to take these, lift these up just like so. We're going to his Vtol mode, and take this, we're going to rotate that down and back, kind of loosen these little side bits. They're a bit of a pain in the butt to get to. Here, we're just going to take this whole thing first, rotate that all the way around, do that on this side as well, and untab that, rotate that all the way around, bring it together, and tab these bits together just like so. And then, like I said, you're going to flop that back. If you want to, you can tab that in there now, but we're going to move it anyhow, so why bother? Take this, and again, you're trying to get this little panel out, and it's a bit of a pain, especially in this one, because it's kind of tight. I'm going to bring in a little tweezer thing just to kind of wedge this up a little. Come on. There we go. It's really tight on this particular one. Then rotate that around. Do that on this side as well. Let's see if this one's going to be as bad. Now that one's easy to come out. It's actually kind of loose. You can see it slides back out and then back in. That's one minor problem. So rotating that around, you're going to bring these around, and these will tab into place on the side just like so. Keep that back there, and then we're going to angle this out. Take this section, untab this. This is going to accordion forward, and then tab in, lift these all the way up, just again getting them out of the way, and then these are going to angle back. If I can do it, there we go. Angle it back like so. Do that on this side as well, and then you can see that these little bits right here, they're going to tab into place on the side. Now also, one thing that's really neat is that, well, take this, rotate this down, these little bits here secure a little bit nicer. Right up here, you have this section here, and then you have these little grooves here and here, and then they lock into here and here. That really kind of helps to keep his arms tabbed in the side. Just give that a little push. This one doesn't go in nearly as well. As you can see, it kind of slides right back out. This one locks in nicely. This one unfortunately doesn't, but it still locks in there fairly securely. And then you're going to bring this down, and then you got two little holes here and here that tab on little plastic bits there and there. Just angle that up, get that angled. There we go. Give that a nice little push, and then that, you can see, unfortunately, pop that bit out. So bring this back, lock that down. There we go. Get that locked down a little bit better there, and that popped that out. So there we go. But like I said, that one is just a little bit loose, but it stays in there fairly nice. And then just angle these. You can then position these however you really want. And here you have him in his Vtol mode, which again, very nice looking mode. And one thing that I did forget to do is take this section, rotate this out, reach in here. You got the front landing gear, and now if you really wanted to, you could have him landing with the assistance of his landing gear. And here you have him in his Vtol mode. Now, one thing that I forgot to do is you actually rotate these down and around like so as well. This is amazing. It's so weird that such a similar design with some newly molded parts in here can really make a completely different figure. I really do love this. I absolutely love how, I mean, and this is weird because this bit on the inside here, you can see also rotates. This one's a little bit freer to rotate than this one is. This one actually kind of clips into place, it feels like, but I love the vents on here, and then you can see as you rotate that around, it gives that illusion of like a turbine or something spinning inside to provide thrust so you can actually move up and down, left and right. So wickedly cool. Now again, for comparison, here he is, and here's Springer, and obviously Springer is a helicopter, and I do have Springer transformed properly in this video. But one thing that I really complained about was how loose these are. They don't tab into anything here, and that's really very unfortunate because it kind of makes it floppy. This actually tabs in. I mean, you can detach it, but at least it locks in on the side here, which helps secure these side wing thing jiggers actually in place. So again, like I said in the vehicle mode, things just tab in and lock in better with this, and that really helps me kind of enjoy more. Now, mind you, for some reason, I really like the look on Sandstorm just a little bit more. Now, I love the character of Springer, and that's where a lot of my attachment comes from. And I think this is a wonderful toy, absolutely wonderful toy. But I have no attachment to Sandstorm. And because of how great the guy looks and how well done the toy actually is, it really does make me enjoy this thing that much more than the actual Springer figure, which is something that I honestly didn't think was going to happen. As I showed, kind of, you can rotate these up and down, you can rotate them around, so if you want him to lift, because technically he would lift like this, and then to move forward, these would rotate this way, and then you would be able to move forward, and then if you wanted to move back, I mean, I really love the Vtol concept. I think it's really very cool. It allows for wonderful maneuverability, and I think that's nicely captured here in this toy. Now, you can use his weapon here. I can't figure it out for the life of me, to be totally honest. I looked at the instructions. I tried doing it. I can't figure out how this actually locks in here. But I really don't care about it locking in there. It's not something that I'm overly impressed with, I guess. You have a hole right here. You can plug it here on the top. You have a hole here on the back. You can peg that in right there. So, I mean, it's up to you really how you want to display the gun. I honestly, I don't even bother with it in vehicle mode, so it doesn't bother me. It's just something extra that you can do, I suppose. So now to transform him into his robot mode, we're going to just basically loosen up a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to lift this up, come around here. You're going to detach these arms from the side. You do actually want to pull this bit out, getting this out of the way so that you can tuck that in for the robot's head or head area. Get that out. Come on. There we go. And then you're going to rotate that. You're going to detach this. This head here then comes up. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get to, but it is kind of, like I said, a pain in the butt, but you do have these little tab bits right here that you just grab and you're able to pull it up and then just fit that through there, push it all the way through, and then you can bring this all the way down, bring the head up, and then angle these chest pieces up. They're going to tab in on the side right like so. Coming down to the legs here, just split these, take this whole section, you're going to rotate this up, bring that out like so. You're going to bring this all the way up. That's going to lock into place right there. Bring this down. Straighten out these legs. Much like the Springer figure, they're on this extra joint that bends outward like here at the knee, so just straighten that out. Fold these knee bits all the way up in. One thing that I didn't really talk about is the wheels are all molded. They're not actually rotating wheels, so that kind of sucks. Then spin this out. Do that on this side as well. Kind of straighten everything out. Straighten these little back propeller things, because if you don't have these straight like this, he becomes very back heavy and will want to tip. So make sure you do that. And then open these up on the side. Bring out his hand. Tab that back down like so. Do that on this side as well. Because I have a hard time grabbing things, I just use my little tweezers. Bring that together like so. Kind of angle everything, get his legs straightened up. Now, if you really do want to, you can take this and you can actually fold this down
and around like so, and tuck that in so you don't have that hanging out on the side. It's personal preference really, but make sure that you get that locked up there on the side very well. But after all that's said and done, here you have Sandstorm in his actual robot mode.
And this is where Sandstorm really starts taking on more of a similar look to Springer himself. Now, as you can see, I mean, I have him posed with his gun, and you do have the big giant Vtol engines here in the background. But like I said, things start looking more and more like Springer when you get to his robot mode than any other modes. And one thing that actually does kind of suck is because of the gigantic backpack, you really do have to chicken leg him per se, where you get this section going back and then coming down. That balances him a little bit better, but it's really kind of unfortunate. He doesn't stand nearly as well as Springer does. Now, for a comparison, here's Sandstorm, and here we have Springer. Now, obviously, the big giant engine things here on the back really give a much different look than Springer. But robot mode here, you're seeing a lot of similarities. I mean, he's got a different head sculpt, and there's a lot of different molded pieces. But because everything folds to the same spot, essentially, you're getting a very similar looking figure. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't like Sandstorm. I really do. But honestly, for me, I do think that his robot mode is probably the weakest looking of all three of his modes, just because of how similar it looks to Springer. And as I said, the biggest problem would be these engines. Now, you can kind of angle them a little bit more forward. If you wanted to bring him over his arms like that, that would allow you to not have to chicken leg him quite as much, get his head looking up straight. But it's still not as sturdy of a figure, just because of that big giant backpack. I mean, it's better when you get it like this, but it doesn't look nearly as good. I really do prefer it kind of like this, or maybe even like this, I guess. He stands, and then these little bits here seem a little bit looser than before, so he kind of want to flops back. But you can see you got to get his legs positioned, but he's still fairly wobbly, and he almost toppled over right there. So that's definitely an aspect that is negative on him. Very cool looking. I really do dig the way that it looks. These wings, their thruster tire things, really do give him a unique look. It's just it also contributes to a much bigger problem that you're getting him very wobbly, and like I said, you can see, I mean, he just rockers so very easily here. And it's very unfortunate. Now, and great light piping, though, on this guy. You can see, let me try to get it. I mean, really very good light piping. But his head is on a ball joint, so a nice range of motion with that. The shoulders move around. You're not going to be able to get him go all the way around because of these back bits, but they move forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate here at the upper part of the elbow. They got a nice ratchet joint at the elbow itself. The wrists rotate. They also kind of move back and forth, just as part of the transformation, I suppose. Rotates here at the waist. Hips move forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. The knees are on nice ratchet joints, and then you've got some pivot here in the ankle. So all the articulation that was in Springer is here again. So you do get a lot of articulation, and it's a good look for the figure. It's just something about it, like I said, just screams more of a Springer kind of look for me. And it really, it's not grabbing me as much here in terms of robot mode. The other modes I really do enjoy. Just this one has a much different kind of feel for it. And I'm really annoyed with the wobbliness of him while he's standing there. And you can see it really kind of makes him look like he's lunging forward because you have to position those legs like that. So it's unfortunate, but it is still a good figure, and regardless, I still do highly recommend picking him up. He's still a fun character to have. It's just not as great as I think some people are making him out to be. Now transforming him back, much as you saw with going into the robot mode and such, the transformation is very similar to what we have with Springer. So first we're going to go back into his Vtol mode, so just loosen this up, flap that down. I like lifting these just to kind of clear up some room, get things out of the way. You're going to bring these all the way down, like so. Fold these all the way
up like so. Do that on both sides, and then you angle them together at the knee here, getting that flopped up, and then just give that a nice little squeeze. All right, and then we're gonna flop this back. We're going to take these little sections here, rotate these around like so, just flopping that down, keeping it out of the way, and then getting these up like so. Come around here to the head section, detach this bit and that bit, then you can lift the chest piece up, tucking the head down and through the chest piece, and then down into his chest, and then bring that up. That locks into place just like so. Straighten out these arms. I'm gonna rotate this around, open this, tuck his hand in, do that on that side as well. Come around here, do it on this side. Now, I actually wonder if I did have it transformed wrong initially, even in going into this mode. And then we're gonna bring that on. Oh, no, that's the car. We're going into his Vtol. So this comes all the way back, just like that. Now, you can actually do this and angle this. Now, I actually wonder if this is how the instructions tell you to do it. Because to be totally honest, put that there. Here we go. I guess you could do it like that. And then flip this around on the back, lock that in on that side, keep that down. There we go. Now, well, all right, I couldn't find the instructions, so we're just going to do it like that. So we're going to unhook that, get this to angle out. It's this on this, it's really stiff, and then bend it here, and then tab that. There we go. All right, get that in there, and then like I said, we're going to keep these down. We're going to tab that in right there, keep that down, tab that in right there, then bring this up. You can lock that in there, lock that there. Oh, that actually locks in there better as well. So, I wonder if it's supposed to be like that. But I don't know where my instructions are to check that for you guys. So, but actually, it kind of, maybe it's not supposed to be like that, to be totally honest, because bringing this down, and again, we're going to fight with another tab here, lining that up keeps this, I don't think it's supposed to be like that, to be totally honest on this one. So on Springer, that's how you do it, but on this one, it doesn't seem like that's what you're supposed to do. So keeping it down, tab that in there, keep that tabbed in there along this side. Again with the tabs. I'm having a hard time with the tabs today. And then lock that up there. Lock that up there. Oh, that actually locks pretty good now. And then, see, the little Vtol engines don't hit this as much. So, I do believe that that's honestly how it's supposed to be on this particular figure. Angle that down and around so it's not interfering with these little things. So I do believe that that's where they're supposed to be on the Sandstorm figure. Now, if I actually had my instructions somewhere, I could verify that for you, but we're going to go with that. So there you have them. And again, very cool looking mode on here. I really do dig it. And I like, as I said, how everything pegs in nicely. This actually seems to be pegging in a little bit better right up here than it did previously for some odd reason. So very, very cool nonetheless. Now we're going to is Dune Buggy mode. So again, we're going to get this out of the way. Separate this. Well, you don't need to untab that. Separate that. Pull this section up. There, untab that as well. Bring this all the way back. That's going to lock that down. Keep that up. You can tuck the landing gear down and in. And then rotate this, untab here, rotate these bits around. Now, this part does get a little bit kind of annoying because you do have to line things up again and really kind of tab things properly. You're going to fold this up, and it's a little bit of a fiddle sort of thing. Rotate this, kind of get this lifted up on the side. and then straighten this all the way out, just like so. Do that on this side as well. Straighten that out. Lift up the windshield, rotate that all the way down, and then you're gonna bring this down in here, and then that will tab right there. Do that on this side as well. Bring this down and in. Keep the foot up as far as you can. Then tab right up in here, locking these sections together. And you can fold this up just like that. Get that all the way in. Then bring this section back. And again, just angle these to get everything out of the way. And then you're bringing all of this together here to squeeze it in and lock it into place right up along the side. But this part here is a little bit cumbersome to try and line this up. I mean, sometimes it's easier than others, but there we go. Then kind of hold it there. I'm going to bring this, keep that up. Bring this up. You can see that I am getting frustrated. The transformation is a little frustrating. There we go. That's one side. Kind of hold that together. Bring this in. And then you kind of lock that in, but there we go. Just like that. Keep these kind of together. Then you're going to bring this down, rotate these wheels, bring it down. There's a little groove section here, or a little slot section here, and a little tab that sticks out. And then you're bringing that down, and you're just pushing that in, just like so. Then rotate these, push them in. Do that on this side as well. Push them in. Kind of make sure everything, like I said, is semi-squeezed together where it needs to. There we go. But it doesn't honestly feel like it's all the way in. So, and then you flip this down and tuck that up and under. And here you have him back in his Dune Buggy mode. Now, when it comes down to it, honestly, I really think that the best looking modes are both this and his Vtol mode. I love the way they look. They have a nice kind of distinction between that Springer figure and really gives a much more solid feel in terms of things pegging together than Springer did in the first place. This Dune Buggy mode looks terrific. It looks massive. It looks big and powerful, and I love that. The Vtol mode looks very fun. And the transformation to, well, the Vtol from here and then obviously to the robot, it's fairly easy to do. Going back is a bit of a pain in the butt because you do have to get things properly positioned and lined up just perfectly to get it all fitting together. That's a complaint that I do have, but it carries over from the complaints that I had with Springer as well. The tabs on Sandstorm, though, just seem to hold things better in terms of keeping them in place than Springer's did. And that's one aspect that I really do like on this. Everything about this figure, though, really is very fun. You do have some minor nitpicks, I suppose, but overall, it's really cool. And I really didn't expect myself to like this guy as much as I actually do. Now, all that being said, if you are interested in picking this guy up, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You go to Big Bad Toy Store, and you'll be able to secure your own Sandstorm to proudly display in your collection. But beyond that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, this has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find our recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus. And follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.